Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kwadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazar, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Lathanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachnawa, Khawbwathnawa, Kasalachnawa, Khawbwathyanawa, Wala'a, Tabia Anawa, Manasaya 1, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapa Arath, La'ai Walamyam, Aman.
Why? I don't understand why. Shalom, y'all. Salaki, I tried to get y'all some music, but for whatever reason, I guess it wasn't working. Or maybe it was working. I'm not sure.
Nah, I ain't hear no sound, brother.
It might have been because you was off stage, though.
I was off. I didn't get on.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. It might have
Oh,
been
okay,
because you
okay.
was off stage. Um, Let me try that one more time.
You want me to get on stage? You
I
stay on
definitely.
stage and everything?
Yeah, you can stay on.
All right.
All right. I do want to hear the song just so I can get a little amped up. That's all.
Nah, I just ain't playing, brother.
You don't hear?
Nah.
I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is, y'all. No music to start the class. All right. So first off, definitely want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High, Yahweh. We do so in His Son's name, His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Um, just want to say all praises for the week. All praises for another break last week, man. Shout out to the brothers for filling in, holding it down, man. Y'all brothers did a Tawab job all week long. Um, Same with this Sabbath class. You know, priests always bring that fire. Elders of High Wednesday, bringing more fire. So, hey, all praises to the Most High. Just want to give a shout out to all the LOI and everybody else that's out there and other congregations that's putting out classes even at this very hour. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that people put out stuff and content every week, so it's no excuse, man. It's no excuse when Yahweh Shai returns on why you not keeping commandments. Let me remove this for a second. Right, so it's no excuse in these last days. Right, so before we get into it, you want to add anything?
Shalom, everybody. Happy Sabbath. Good to be here again. So, I ain't got much to say. Pray everybody have a good Sabbath and continue on.
Okay. All right, y'all. So, it's gonna be a class kind of similar to the last time. I kind of adjusted the name, as y'all see, is got abbreviated NAAJ. Basically, is not all about Judah, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this into like a little mini series, right? It's gonna be focusing on the Northern Kingdom, right? It's gonna be focusing on the Northern Kingdom because we don't have a lot of focus on them. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a lot of focus. We don't put out a whole bunch of content on the other tribes. We kind of just sum it up in when we say Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, we just sum it up with that, and we don't go into detail about it. So that's what this is going to be about, right? When anytime you see that NAAJ series, right? So episode 2 is going to be focusing on Naphtali and Zebulon. Most high willing, I'm able to get to Zebulon. If not, of course, we'll definitely continue, right? So we're going to definitely start with the tribe of Naphtali, right? Let me pull this up on my notes on my phone, right?
Hey, Salakia. Hey, I could pull up the blue letter on the screen. It's a little bit easier for me to read, and it's lighting over in here.
Con, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So, worst case scenario, if you got something on that thing, I'll go ahead and you know what I'm saying? I'll take the blue letter off.
All right. You can see my screen?
Yeah, I see your screen.
Okay. So let me go ahead and throw it up here. All right, so it's gonna be some few scripts. It's not a bunch of them, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know that now. It's not a bunch of them, but we definitely gonna go and use some. Where's that? So used to using the blue letter on my phone. I don't know what a search bar is. All right, so we definitely starting here. All right, so click back on that. So real quick, definitely want to give a shout out. I don't know if she on here, Sister Rose. Y'all can see me a whole lot clearer than what y'all could in previous classes. Shout out to the Sister Rose, man, in Milwaukee. That's also a part of L.O.I. Detroit. She definitely donated some laptops to help us push this word, man. That's what it's about. It's about that body, you know what I'm saying? About the body and about the whole entire congregation. It's not just the brothers just, putting together classes. The sisters don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? The children don't do nothing. No, it's about everybody has a job to do, right? So we definitely have to work as a unit. So shout out to that sister. So yeah, let's start. Right. So first things first. Let me go back to the blue letter. Right there. All right. So I'm on Genesis 30 and verse 7. Start at verse 7 and 8.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 30, and verse, you said 5 or 8?
7 and 8.
Salakia, verse 7. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed, and she called his name Naphtali.
Right. So they call his name Naphtali. Right. This is the Rachel's. Slaki. This is Bilhah's second son, which is Jacob's sixth son. Right. Don't want to go down anymore. Right. Read verse 20.
All right, verse 20. And Leah said, Yahweh hath endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulon.
Right. So now Zebulon is born. Right. But at the moment, we're gonna kind of focus on Naphtali. Right. So now let's get Genesis 49 here.
Okay. I can go ahead and get on my book too also. When my eyes start looking weird and everything, I'll just get the screen and everything.
Okay.
You said 49 what? 14?
21.
All right, come. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 21. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth goodly words.
All right. So Naphtali is a hind let loose. Right. So since I'm already on here, let's go ahead and look up what this hind is. Right. I know a lot of people know, but for those that don't know, right, let's look up hind. Right. And outline biblical usage shows that a hind is basically a deer, right? Which is what that particular tribe signet is. That symbolism of a deer, right? And it is a hind. Let me go back. Or did I not do that right? I probably didn't do that right.
Just hit the back arrow up top.
Okay. All right. So a hind, which this particular hind is let loose, right? So we're gonna look up this word for let loose. Right? It says to send away, to let go, to stretch out, to let loose. It basically means exactly what it says: to let loose, to set free. Right? So it is a hind set free. Naphtali is. Um, Slovakia. So, read that again.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 21. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth goodly words.
And this particular hind, which is Naphtali that's let loose, he gives goodly words. Right? This is the characteristics and things that shall befall them. As a matter of fact, let's go back up to that, so we can get that in verse 1. Go to verse 1.
All right. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Right. So all of these things that he's getting ready to tell the 12 tribes, right, is the things that is going to befall them in the last days, right? Meaning, guess what? Remember what Christ said. Christ was literally going around saying that they was in the last days, right? So who was literally Christ's road dog, right? And what tribe was he from? Right. So let's go. And I didn't write this one down. So bear with me, y'all. All right. Actually, let's go to Matthew. That's what we can do. We're gonna go to Matthew chapter 4. Right, but we know for a fact that Peter was Christ's road dog, right? That always definitely spoke well of Yahushua.
You want verse 18?
We're gonna start at verse 12, actually.
Okay.
But we're gonna read down.
Okay.
Um, but Peter was Christ's road dog, Yahushua's road dog, right? Which we know where he was from, right? And we know how highly he spoke of Yahushua, the things that the comforting words that he spoke to Yahushua, even though Yahushua knew he was kind of full of it. You know what I'm saying? When he was even telling Yahushua, like, hey, I'm not gonna, if they gonna kill you, they gonna kill me. And Yahushua, like, man, stop playing.
Hmm.
Man, stop playing. Like hey, before the cock crow thrice, you're gonna be like, you ain't with me. Right? So we're gonna go to verse 12, Matthew 4 and 12.
All right. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and verse 12. Now, when Yahushua had heard that John was cast into prison, he departed into Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the seacoast, in the borders of Zebulon and Naphtali,
Mm-hmm.
that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulon and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles.
Galilee of the Gentiles, right? And we know that Galilee is basically the land of Naphtali, right? And let's show y'all, as a matter of fact, because um, we don't want to just tell y'all things. This is a show and tell class today. Right? I should have already had this pulled up because it'd be hard to find a good map on here. Um, that might be a good one. It's not good enough to be big enough for y'all to see.
What if you click on it? Will it blow up?
No, it's not blowing up. It's just skipping to the next one.
Okay.
Let me see if I hit that like that. If that works. That's a little better. All right.
Hit that square thing.
That's let me see.
No, it's just visual search. Okay, come.
Yeah. All right, yeah, I'm gonna figure out how to work this computer real good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna figure out how to do it. All right. So as we can see, if y'all can see the screen, Naphtali right here. Right. This is Naphtali. And let me actually pull up one because we are in the New Testament. And notice that Zebulon is right here as well, because remember, we're gonna go into Zebulon. Right. Let me see if I can grab another map that shows
Type in a full screen map of the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it should give you a full size.
let's see. And actually, let's see, because I want to go here. All right, so as we can see, that same map, right? Let me click on this one. Man, this should be a way to make this bigger, bro. Oh,
Hey, yeah, we go. One sec, go ahead.
all right, there we go. Right. So this is just a New Testament map, so to speak, right? And it's still in the same spot, right? So this will still be Naphtali. This land next to it would be Asher, right? Right down in here is, even though it's not on this map, but right down in the middle, like in the midst of this land of Syria, which is Asher, you had that small little circle that was Zebulon, right? Sea of Galilee is right here as well, right? And I'm pointing the Sea of Galilee out because I want y'all to remember this as we go through this lesson, right? So let's go back, pull the blue letter back up, pick back up at verse 15.
All right. Verse 15. The land of Zebulon and the land of Naphtali by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles.
All right, keep going.
The people which sat in darkness saw great light, and to them which sat in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung up. From that time, Yahushua began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Right. So at that time, Yahushua began to preach. Right. So read verse 18, and we're gonna come right back to verse 17.
And Yahushua, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers.
See, they were fishers, right? So Yahushua began to preach, as it says in verse 17, in this land, right? Now, the one thing that we know about prophecies is that when we see certain things, that even though Genesis 49 was literally saying that Naphtali is going to be the one that has goodly words, right? We can also look at it as a particular land, right? What do I mean by that? Let me give you an example, right? Go to Amos. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. I think it's Amos 4. All right, read verse 1 right there.
All right. This is the book of Amos, chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear this word, ye kind of Bashan,
Mm-hmm.
that are in the mountain of Samaria, which oppress the poor, which crush the needy, which say to their masters, bring and let us drink.
Right, so he will have to be talking to somebody, right? Because it says they say to their masters. But Bashan is a land, right? It's a land that also belongs to Manasseh, right? This is why it says that are in the mountain of Samaria. So when you see, a lot of the times you may see it looks like a particular person, right? And it says that he shall speak goodly words. Now, I'm not sitting there saying that, Yahushua's from the tribe of Naphtali, and that was a prophecy about him. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is he was in that land. He was also speaking goodly words, right? Just as well as Peter does. Just as well as I'm sure the tribe of Naphtali actually does. They speak well, right? They speak well. So let's go back to Genesis 49. Actually, no, I don't want to go to Genesis 49. I want to go to Judges 5,
Okay. What verse?
18.
All right. This is the book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 18. Zebulon and Naphtali were a people that jeoparded their lives unto the death in the high place of the field.
See that? So read that one more time because I didn't have it on the screen.
Okay, come. All right. Zebulon and Naphtali were a people that jeoparded their lives unto the death in the high places of the field.
All right. So they were people that knew how to fight, right? They don't have that deer by them for nothing, right? A deer is actually a swift animal, right? It's a peaceful animal. It don't bother you until you bother it, right? But they still fought with their brethren, right? They were men of war, as it literally shows us. I'm not going to go to it, but it shows us that in the book of First Corinthians, chapter 12, I believe, right? It shows you what they can do, what they specialized in war, right? So they weren't no punks just because they could speak well, right? And they are a peaceful people. They weren't no punks, right? So now let's go to Deuteronomy 33. All right, read verse 23.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 23. Also, like I'm in the wrong one. Verse 23. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor, and full with the blessing of the Lord, possess thou the west and the south.
All right, so it says, possess thou the west and the south, right? So now let me get back to, I want to go back to this map. Let me see if I can pull that other map and make it back up, make it big like that. Just exit out of that. And let's see. Hey, what that map that I had before?
Look in the history where you seen it, where you went back before. Should be able to see it. There you go, right there.
Come, right? So as we can see, it says Naphtali here. They shall possess the east and the west, right? So when we look, I mean, Salaki, the south and the west. So when we look, we know when we read in the scriptures and inside of Joshua that Naphtali is in northern Israel, right? This is the top of Israel here, right? But when we look south, the only thing we see is a sea, right? When we look west, we see Asher, and then depending on what part of Naphtali you're in, you see Zebulon, right? It don't mean that they're going to possess this, right? So now we got to go in to see what that means, right? So let's go into the blue letter. And we're going to go to the west, right? And just so Elder Karab don't kill me, I'm going to let blue letter pronounce this.
You should have just did it.
Right? Yom, right? So let's see what that word for yom is, right? Outline biblical usage literally means sea, right? It could be Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, Dead Sea, Sea of Galilee, which we seen that they possess that, right? Seaward west at the end, you see this down here, right? So it's just saying that they was going to possess the sea, right? But the one thing that I don't want to do is just ignore what we see in the English, right? I don't want to just ignore that. Reason being because I feel like, not that I feel like the scriptures say that he's going to give us a language and have the Bible and a language that we would understand. So we understand English, right? So we know, let's see, we know what the 12 tribes chart say. So let's pull it up for those that don't. I'll get this one. Get a simple one. Right. So as we can see, Naphtali, it literally shows the origin. It might be small on y'all screen, so it shows the Argentinian to the Chileans, right? And just so we don't have to pull this back up, we see the Zebulon is uh, Guatemalans to the Panamanians, right? So I don't have to pull that back up. Now what I'm going to do is, let me close that tablet because I'm starting not to be able to see these no more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a map of South America, right? So this map of South America literally shows Argentina being in the south part of this country, right? And Chile being in the west part. Right? It's also said that they would possess the seas, right? I mean, literally, right? It just means that they're by a lot of water, right? This is the Most High's creation. Most High own this. Don't nobody own this, right? So this is literally a sea, right? No matter how you want to look at it, it's a sea of water on each side. You know what I'm saying? Just like even the Sea of Galilee, which is in the land of Naphtali, it's literally a body of water there that the Most High created as well. And it is what it is when it comes down to that Deuteronomy. Leave that one up.
With faith, possess thou the.
If we want to just take this and we want to just take see Argentina of Argentina, right? And right here. So this is a book talking y'all to death, right? So this is the book. Call him a brother. I don't know if he's a brother or not. Right. Map again, just so anybody can see it. Chile, right, with the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. So this is the riddle of the disappearance. We can start right at the top.
Man, like hit the escape. One. All right, that should be good right there.
I got 150 for you, brother.
Yeah, 125 would have been something else. All right, yeah. The Portinos tell their visitors, and one can roam through the crowded down.
Right, because we know for a fact that they redlined us out here in our inner cities in North America. That they did the same thing.
A traveler arriving in Buenos Aires after passing through other countries in Latin America, composition appears to be altering somewhat as migration from Paraguay, Bolivia, interior areas in which Indians form a larger ethnic mix. The capital
mixed in, right? But that's not the only reason why they're not there. You'll see a lot of people, but certain suburbs you won't, right? A lot of what people know as sundown towns, you're not gonna see no black people out there. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is literally saying that Buenos Aires looks like, right? Go ahead.
One would be forced to concur with his what is it? I can't really see it. Portino. Okay, Portino host. There are no blacks in Buenos Aires. But if he were to remain in Buenos Aires for an extended stay, the traveler or tourist would become gradually aware that his blanket statement is not entirely true. That indeed there are some blacks in Buenos Aires. Though he might see no more than one or two per week in the central areas of the city, he might be chance stumble on the Afro-Argentine neighborhoods in the outlying areas of Barracas, Flores, and Floresta.
See that? So it's literally saying outlying areas, right? That's just what it is. They redlined us. They tried to want to hide the children of Israel. We're gonna hold it. We're gonna come. Just read verse 3.
All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3. For lift up the counsel against thy people.
Right. So, like it just says here. Go ahead.
All right.
Right here at this if. as we know for a fact that ghetto means where the Jews reside. That's where this to literally see us walking around, right? So now,
Our hypothetical tourists were to visit some of even if there were no blacks in Buenos Aires today, there must definitely pass in the paintings to be found in those museums, people appearing time and again alongside the whites of the city,
mhm,
colonial and 19th century past.
right? They got us right. Priests show these things all the time. King David, Solomon, they have all are there, but they act the same people, right? But if we would understand that, just like they do us in America, call us niggas and redline us and do all of these things unto us, they do it to them as well, right? Um, keep going right here at that point.
All right. At that point, one would be tempted to ask why there are now so few blacks in Buenos Aires. They were what happened to them? Where did they go? Two of the best known English language histories of Argentina, that question.
All right, so now let's jump down because this is they just mentioned in another book here, right? And you can also definitely go do it. So let's jump down here, right here with this my cursor.
You won't. I can't see the date. Oh, Salaki, I'm Salaki. My bad. Really starting to take effect until the 1850s. The 1778 census of the city showed that black people constituted 7,256 out of 24,363.
Mm-hmm.
The 1810 census indicated that the percentage of blacks in the city remained constant in the intervening 32 years.
Right, it was constant for about 3 decades, right? Go ahead.
In 1810, Afro Argentines numbered 9,615 out of a total population of 32,558.
Right, so literally this number grew about 8,000 more people, right? But you only have out of 8,000 more people from the previous number listed, you only have a little over 2,000 that would be quote unquote considered Afro Argentines, right? So let's keep reading.
The By 1838, the black population had grown to 13,967. Though in relative terms it accounted for only a quarter of the city's total. But by 1887, during the intervening half century, no municipal census recorded information on race. The process of disappearance was well advanced. By that year, the Afro Argentines had dropped to a mere 8,005 out of a total population of 433,375, less than 2%.
Which is crazy, right? Now you know for a fact that we didn't go nowhere, right? Now I'm not saying that they didn't, ship them off because it's islands. When you look at a world map, you'll see all of these different islands, right? You'll see, forgot the exact name. I think it's called the Falkland Island, right? That's right up underneath Argentina, right? And you literally have, I think Argentina and Britain is literally fighting over that island. I want to show y'all real quick. Um, I think it's, yeah. I want to show y'all. Um, I guess this is one that could show both. All right. Now it says UK here, but you literally have Britain and Argentina. They fighting over this map. I mean, over this island, Salaki. Right. So one would surmise that again, because if the 12 tribes would travel over to the Americas to keep commandments in the land. They have all of these in their case people coming in trying to take over, doing any and everything. One would surmise that we did venture up to this island. Anytime they tried to come get us captive, hey, we definitely tried to run. We tried to get away after we fought them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cases we won particular battles, but we would never win the war, right? Because we must serve our captivity. So get back to this, right?
Reiterated argument is that the blacks were wiped out in the wars which wrecked 19th century Argentina, drafted in large numbers into the revolutionary armies that battled the Spanish, Afro-Argentine soldiers that fought successively against the Indians, the Brazilians, and the Paraguayans. According to this explanation, in battle, had died of sickness while campaigning, or had been disabled in service. The resulting lack of males made it virtually impossible for the black population to recoup its battlefield losses.
Right, which was their plan from the beginning. Right, remember Psalms 83. Come, let us cut them off from being a nation. Right? So that would be one explanation. But everybody knows, man, that the children of Israel multiply. Right? Hosea literally says that we are the sands of the sea. Right? So this won't just wipe us out. Right? This will never just wipe us out. This will never leave us a really, really low number in these particular times. Right? We're going to populate. So let's see. Now let's get into let's go to the video, y'all. Right, let's go to the video.
Hey, the video, you don't hear anything, brother. It's no sound. Look on your keyboard and see if the volume all the way up or something like that, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because we don't hear anything, bro.
It is. Let me go. Let me start it over.
We still should have heard something, even if it was on 72. Something going on with the sound. Salaki, why don't you on the right, and you know, my computer is different from yours, but I'm trying to. All right, hold on. I can see your computer on the screen. Go to there. Yeah, right there. Hit right click that. Yeah. Yeah, sound is on there. Hit the setting. Go to the settings. When the light gear on the bottom right there. Yep. It should go down some. Like scroll down, because
That's crazy.
What you could, hey, matter of fact, this is what you could do. Click on that sound, just hit the left click, or you just got the mouse thing. You gotta
just the computer. Just the computer.
What you got?
Figure this out at a different time.
What is it? Afro Argentina's documentary. All right, give me a minute. Let me pull it up. I got you.
Stop sharing my screen.
Afro, what is it called? Afro Argentina's.
Oh, yeah, you can keep looking at.
And what's the last one? Afro Argentina's documentary, or what was it?
Hidden. Just put Hidden Blacks.
Okay, Hidden Blacks. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's I don't know why that's doing that.
I think okay, I got it. So let me share my screen then. I got you, bro. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right, so let me share my. All right, so I'm gonna wait to it, see if, just in case if I got a commercial. I'm gonna wait to the commercial, then I'm gonna share it. Argentina. All right, so I got it. Tell me if this is the one you was looking for.
That's it.
Right?
That's
it. Con. All right. Hold on, Salakia.
All right, can y'all hear his video?
I'm about to play it right here yet. Here we go.
Located in the heart of South America, is famous for its tango, football, and rich cultural heritage. However, beyond the popular stories of the country, there is a significant
Hold on, let me pause it. Let me pause it so that just in case you get some feedback and see if they can hear it. Hey, Salaki, can y'all hear the video? Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear the sound when it was just playing a couple of seconds ago. Con. All right. So yep, they can hear it. All right, here we go. Let me turn it up a little bit more. All right, here we go. Let me start it over to the top.
Argentina, located in the heart of South America, is famous for its tango, football, and rich cultural heritage. However, beyond the popular stories of the country, there is a significant yet often neglected tale, the story of Afro-Argentines. Have you ever wondered why there are no black players in the Argentine football national team? Have you been curious about why there are no Afro-Argentine politicians on TV? They once constituted a significant portion of the nation's population, but their numbers and stories have dwindled. And how do their contributions resonate in contemporary Argentina? Join us as we explore the Afro-Argentine community throughout history, uncovering their challenges, accomplishments, and lasting. Afro-Argentines are individuals of African descent during the 18th century. They were an essential part of the Argentinian population.
I'll pause it real quick. Right, so those that don't know, when it says the 18th century, that's literally the beginning of the 1700s, right? And we know that we list 1619, right, as slave trade, which we know that it started years before that, right? We just, that's a popular date that a lot of people use, but it started years before, right? Literally started being shipped as well. When inventory, when it goes, whatever number it is, it starts from, so if it's 17th century, it starts from the 1600s, right? 18th century starts from the 1700s, so on and so.
Cannot be overstated. Despite their significance, faced many challenges and struggles, including racial discrimination, which led to a steady decrease in their population over time. According to a census by the Spanish Council in 17 comprised approximately 37% of the Argentine population, highlighting their importance in shaping the country's history.
I also want to point out too, right? Just so y'all know, them, you know what I'm saying? Them look like these same pictures that we've been seeing floating around. Them dudes look kind of zesty, man. Just wanted to point that out. Go ahead.
For having the widest land area in South America. However, the Afro-Argentine population has significantly decreased to only about 15% over the years. This decline can be attributed to slavery. Discriminatines have faced numerous challenges in their efforts to integrate into. They have been marginalized and underrepresented in various sectors such as sports, journalism, politics, and many more. This is due to the limited number of Afro-Argentines, making it difficult for them to gain visibility in these fields. In this video, we will provide a comprehensive overview of the history of Afro-Argentines, the factors that led to their reduction, like the efforts to promote their inclusion and celebrate their cultural heritage. Chapter 1. Origins of Afro-Argentines. People of African descent were kidnapped and taken as slaves away from their African homelands and feet all through. There were people from the Cape Verde Islands among them. Still, Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Republic of the Congo, and belonged to ethnic groups that spoke Bantu. These Bantu languages are spoken. In the 1600s, just a handful of Europeans made Latin America for centuries.
So it said that's literally fleet. Again, it wasn't just Israelite. It wasn't just Judah left in that land, right? It was still there. Some of them, right? It might have been. You got to think they shipping back and forth, Argentines in the land. You know what I'm saying? The slave trade slowed down, and you
world perished on the trek there. African people were transported to the city of Buenos Aires, which is the capital. At that time, the slave trade accounted for most of the city's
Hey, pause it
economic
real quick.
activity.
Hey, can y'all tell us if the audio is good?
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking.
Let me
going in and out, in and out. It was going in and out.
on my end it's
I hear it clear as well. Okay, so no, it's good. It's good. I'm not sure. Well, baby, I'm not sure what's wrong with your phone. I don't know. Okay, Con, so go ahead.
okay. All right, hold on, let me turn it up.
Forced to labor in various fields, including agriculture, cattle, household tasks, and urban crafts, among other occupations. In the city, many slaves were employed in producing handicrafts. Nevertheless, their owners received all of the money earned from selling their wares. In the Buenos Aires areas of San Telmo and Montserrat, a sizable community of people were held as slaves. However, to maximize revenues, many of these slaves were eventually sent into the interior provinces. Because of the profitable nature of this trade, the slave business became a dominating industry in Buenos Aires, accounting for around 70% of all trading operations. Due to the lucrative nature of this trade, the slave business became a prominent industry in Buenos Aires. At some point in time, Argentina passed legislation that legally sanctioned the trafficking in slaves. Chapter 2. The Declaration. A census taken in 1778 by Juan José Salcedo of Vorte, a plentiful supply of agricultural goods had a sizable black population, accounting for around half of. This number increased because slaves continued to be brought into the slave trade was abolished in 1813. Slavery continued to exist up until it was abolished in 1853. In
So
Argentina,
so that's about 40 years. So they say it's supposed to be abolished in 1810 or 1813, they mentioned, right? Didn't get abolished fully until 1850 something, which we know even then people were still in captivity, right? And we talking about the hard bondage, right? We ain't talking about the mental slavery that we're in now. But you literally, that's 40 years of continued slavery. So for it to even be a decline, that's even crazy, right? For them to even try to calculate a decline because slavery was still going. Right. So they're trying to attribute it to the lack of slaves. We almost to that point. Go ahead.
Afro-Argentine culture has a long and illustrious history that can be traced back to the Atlantic slave trade. Even though the percentage of Afro-Argentines in the country's population is considered to be between 1% and 2%, the cultural influence that they have had on Argentina's history and development has been significant and essential. This culture is an essential component of Argentina's varied historical background. Buenos Aires was a center for the slave trade in the past. Still, now it is known worldwide for its style, architecture, and general attractiveness. Tragically, from colonial rule until the 19th century, Afro-Argentines were treated.
So y'all seeing is literally they saying it's known for its attractiveness, right? Now y'all remember when we did a couple weeks ago when we did the same thing on the Seminole Indians being in Florida, right? That was a big spot for slavery as well. And guess what Florida is known as today, right? Guess what? They get rich off our backs like they always do, right? They build up that land, kick us out, and then we literally have to pay to come back to visit that land. They make it an attraction, right? They make Buenos Aires an attraction now, even though that was literally our brothers and sisters' land. But they come and they take it, right? But we want to say that only so-called African Americans is the Israelites. No. No, this is our people that's literally in the land of Argentina, right? Go ahead.
More like property than persons, which resulted in the denial of essential civil liberties for this population. Chapter 3. Socioeconomic Challenges and Contributions. Afro-Argentines were subjected to segregation and prejudice even after slavery was abolished in the country in 1853. They were often excluded from public institutions like schools, churches, and public gathering places and forced to live in separate areas. Their options were restricted.
EVE Online is a vast...
And many were forced to choose low-paying occupations and contend with racism in the workplace and in the advancement process. Because they didn't have voting rights until 1912. Many people were forced to sell their land and properties without receipt of discriminatory legislation and practices. Before the passage of the Abolition Statute in 1853, not enroll in universities. Because of racial stereotypes, more time and resources were invested in the education of white children. For example, in 1856, even though 15% of the student population that year was comprised of students of color.
2% worth of children. So now what do? Right? They can't go to school. They're not learning. They already don't teach our schools that we send our children, right? They don't teach the same thing to these suburbans where you have maybe half black, half white. We're talking about those rich ones, charter schools, you know what I'm saying? Catholic schools, right? We don't have the same curriculum. It's possible for your children to even go there, right? If you ain't a million, right, we can see 1800. So just imagine hundreds of years of this. Of course, these people is going to be above us, but we know that that's scriptural, right? We know that the curses that's upon us, it literally fits, right?
Not have access to medical treatment, which made their already precarious circumstances much worse. In the early 20th centuries, the Afro-Argentine population saw a steady drop, which may be linked to several different circumstances. The abolition of the slave trade is a significant contributing element. To bring in more African slaves, the population was naturally restricted.
See that? Y'all niggas disappearing. And you gotta you know within yourself how it is in your own communities, right? A lot of us all in different cities, brothers in New York, you know what I'm saying, Detroit, Colorado, right? Houston, California, all of these different places. They know how our people get down. We have children at an enormous rate. We start having children, and I'm talking about the women. We start having children 13, 14 years old on the regular, right? Between 13 to 18 years old, y'all having children, right? So they can miss me with this.
They lying?
They're definitely lying, man. They're liar. The truth ain't in them.
Hey man, white means pure, so they can't be lying, man. Let me go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
Chapter 4. The Resurgence of Afro-Argentine Identity. Their participation in Argentina's battle crease in the country's Afro-Argentine population, which was already small. In 1810, Argentina began its long and ultimately successful fight for independence, which was finally won. Black males, many of whom were slaves, were forced to fight on the front lines after being recruited to do so. As a consequence, it was essential in gaining Argentina's independence. Yet it was all people of African descent in the country. The actions that Maria Remedios del Valle took with her family in several conflicts won her the title of Mother of the Nation during the personalities from this era.
We're going to go into this sister, right? We literally going to go into her. We're going to read some things about her, and we're gonna find out exactly who she was, right? And as you can see, again, I know that some of these pictures are AI, you know what I'm saying? Because this sister didn't look anything like this. Didn't look nothing like it. Even when you Google it, right? Didn't look nothing like this, right? Go ahead.
All right. Oh, Salakia, my bad.
Include. She suffered the heartbreaking loss of her husband and son during the war, and she passed away in 1847, living in abject poverty.
So why use Grammarly over ChatGPT? Well, Grammarly offers expert writing suggestions.
Jacinto Ventura de Molina, an additional notable character, was born into slavery in Buenos Aires in 1773.
All right,
He was a participant in the...
Right. And I meant to look that guy up too to see who he was, but I didn't. So let's see.
You want me to close my screen, or you want me to pull it up?
No, you can close it.
You no longer want this video?
Yeah, you can leave the video up. Just
okay,
yeah.
Stop sharing it.
Okay. So let me share mine. I got so many things up here. Let me delete all these, and maybe I can see my tabs. So, boom, here we go. All right. Maria Remedios de Valle. Right. So as we can see this picture here, right, or depiction, right, of her being a soldier in the war. Right, we can see how dark she probably was, even from that. Right. See, she was born and raised, and passed away in Buenos Aires. Right. I'm gonna come back up to this enslaved.com because it goes into deep detail. But as we can see, look at all of these depictions and what they showed on the video. This is the only thing that I seen on the video. They wasn't even talking about it just yet, but this did flash on that video. You know what I'm saying? But all of these depictions here is way different than what they showed, right? So let's go into Wikipedia. And hit that translation because we don't read Spanish. All right, so as we had heard in the video, she earned the style, Salakia, of captain as the mother of the homeland, right? The mother of Buenos Aires. Let me go down. So let's start here, right? It says when the revolution of May 25th, 1810 took place and the first auxiliary expedition of Upper Peru was organized, forming what will be called later the Army of the North. On July 6, 1810, Maria Remedios del Valle joined the march of the 6th Flying Artillery Company of the Artillery Regiment of the Homeland under the command of Captain Bernardo
Joking.
And I'm not even about to attempt that last name. Anzatwegwe, right? Accompanying her husband and her 2 sons who will not survive the campaign, right? It says, go back up. It says, let me see. Yeah, highlight that. So it says, Maria Remedios de Valle continued to serve as an auxiliary during the successful advance of Upper Peru and the defeat of Huaquai and in the retreat that followed. On the eve of the Battle of Tucumán, he presented himself to General Manuel Belgrano to ask him to allow him to attend the wounded in the front lines of combat. Belgrano, reluctant for reasons of discipline to the presence of women among his troops, refused her permission. But when the fight began, Del Valle arrived at the front, encouraging and assisting soldiers who began to call her the mother of the homeland. After the decisive victory, Belgrano named her captain of his army. Right, so she was helping. Right, she was helping, healing the soldiers that got wounded in the battle. Right, on the front lines. Right, on the front lines helping. Right, so it continues to read. Highlight this down here. Continues to read. After winning the Battle of Salta, Belgrano was defeated at Vilcapugio and had to retreat. On November 14th, 1813, the Patriot troops again faced the Royalists in the Battle of Ayohuma and were again defeated. And then it says Maria fought, was shot, and taken prisoner. From the prison camp, he helped several Patriot officers to escape as an exemplary, let me move this thing, exemplary measure. She was subjected to 9 days of public flogging that will leave her scars for life. Right, so 9 days this woman was being tortured. All right, she was being tortured. Right, says he was able to escape and rejoin the Argentine army, where he continued to follow the forces of Martin Miguel de Güemes and Juan Antonio Alvarez, taking up arms and helping the wounded in the field hospitals. Right. So it says, after the war and already old, Del Valle returned to the city of Buenos Aires, where she found herself reduced to begging. Right. So she basically it didn't mention that she was homeless, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say she was homeless. Right. After doing all of this, being kidnapped and tortured. But when we get deep into it, it literally states that she was being tortured. So after being tortured for 9 days, right, and when they finally come back from the war and actually, win, she reduced to begging. You know what I'm saying? Which is what they do to all of our so-called American soldiers today, right? It says, according to the writer, historian, and jurisconsult from Salta, who rescued her from oblivion. Well, his name is Carlos, right? Who rescued her from oblivion, that she lived in a ranch in the area of Quintes, right? So I guess she did have somewhere to live, right? On the outskirts of the city, and frequented the atriums of the churches of San Francisco, Santo Domingo, San Ignacio, as well as Plaza de la Victory, right? Now, Plaza de Mayo offering cakes and fried cakes, or begging, which together with the leftovers he received from the convents allow him to survive. She called herself the captain and used to show the scars on her arms and relate that she had received them in the War of Independence, only getting those who heard her to think that she was crazy or senile. So they said she's showing all of these battle wounds and scars, and they literally say, "Hey, this woman is crazy. Get her out of here." Right? And she literally having to show this in order to just get the thing, basically these leftovers, things that nobody wants. Right? Things that nobody wants. So it continues to say, not satisfied with her fate, on October 23rd, 1826, she began a process of requesting that she be paid 6,000 pesos to end her tired life in compensation for her services to the country and for the loss of her husband and children. The maximum salary in the country that, so I'll get missing the thing, was that of governor, which was, I'm just going to say, about 8,000 pesos per year. The file signed in his name by a certain Manuel Rico to which he adds in support of certification, Salakia, of services dated January 17th, 1827, signed by Colonel Hipólito Videla. Right, so I'm not just gonna go scroll down and go to what happened. Right, because I'm gonna tell y'all these some damn devils.
Okay.
Let me see, where is it at? They just talking about how she was begging in that part. It shows it. I just want to get down to the part because she actually ended up getting some money, right?
Are you talking about the second paragraph?
Yeah, that's part of it. You can read that. Read that for me.
Oh, okay. The deputies voted to grant a pension of 30 pesos from the same day that Maria Remedios de Vel had requested it, without paying her retroactively for all the months in which she had not received anything.
So they didn't give her back pay, right? They didn't give her back pay. They just started from where she was at, right? Go ahead.
To get an idea of the lack of generosity towards a revolutionary Huron, it is worth noting that a washerwoman earned 20 pesos a month, while the governor earned 666 pesos. A pound of oil was around 1.45 pesos, a pound of meat 2 pesos, and a pound of yerba 0.70 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
Maria Remedios was granted 1 peso a day.
Nothing, right? Nothing. She was granted nothing, right? I think this is it? Because they did do something, right? And they did it. It was still in wickedness, right? And I don't want to give it away. I want us to read it. I'm still trying to find it. I know it's here. This last paragraph. Read this.
All right. On November 8th, 2022, in the commemoration of the National Day of Afro-Argentines and Afro culture, a monument in his image was installed in the Plazoleta Castelio in the Buenos Aires neighborhood of Constitution. The monument was designed by sculptor Alex
Salake,
Mink.
that's not it.
Okay.
The one above it.
Okay. In 2022, she was included together with Manuel Belgrano in a proposal for the new 500 Argentine peso banknote. This banknote was later canceled, although its design was rescued and placed in the design of the 10,000 peso banknote, which came into circulation on May 7, 2024.
May 7, 2024, right? Now, for all of what this woman had to go through, what she had to deal with in the war, right? She literally had to be put on a peso bill with her so-called general, right? Her general was killed, and she still was being tortured, right? And then when she came back from the war, she still couldn't get nothing. Got granted 1 peso a day, right? And then they call themselves, like they always do, like they even do us now with so-called Martin Luther King Day. They turn into a quote-unquote national holiday, which we know that's full of BS. They just giving themselves another day off, right? But she paced on this 10,000 peso, right? So now let's get that peso. Let's just look and see what that peso looks like. I just use this one. Use this tab, right? just put Bill. And go to images. Right here. Got them looking like that they husband and wife. Didn't let me do it. Why did it do that?
Hit the back arrow. Just hit the back arrow. Okay.
Let me click on that one.
Hit view image.
Yeah, that's why I had hit the other time and they went to that
I
crazy.
went to that. Okay, con.
Yeah. All right. Look crazy than a mug. What that devil doing there? You know it's a devil. And I'm just gonna say it, go out on the limb and say it's a devil just because of his nose. Look at his nose, man. This ain't no nose of a brother.
Okay.
Right?
One of them Portuguese.
God. And they think they literally commemorating this woman. You know what I'm saying? By putting her here with this dang on devil. Right? He ain't do nothing. Right? He didn't even want to let her in the army.
Okay.
Right? He didn't even want to let her in. But for some reason, because she basically forced her way in and did what she done and was a hero in this particular war, right? Later on, she gets commemorated, of course, after she passes away. She gets commemorated and gets to be on a 10,000 peso. But this devil has to beat it. Right? That ain't no damn devil for you, man. I don't know.
Hey, I know I said I wasn't gonna say nothing, brother, but this came to mind, brother. Can I get Deuteronomy 28 and 33? Because just like you said, man, she did all that work, and for one, the world is so backwards. She shouldn't be in the front line of war anyway.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, that's not how God got the Israelites. He had the men from 20 years age and up to go for war, right? But this is what they do when they finish us up, even through war, through army, or whatever. At our jobs, when we leave our jobs, even look at the basketball players, football players, this is what they do. Read 33.
Okay. All right, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 33. It says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors.
All the things that you do, all the hard work you put in, right? Go ahead.
Shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Remember, she was only getting, what was it, one peso a month or what, something like that? She was getting 1 peso, and then they didn't even give her face on the coin or the money until she had passed away. Like, so she would never be her own eyes to see herself on that, like it even really matter, but still, you know what I'm saying, how they disrespects us so much, they use us up and they eat everything up from us. That's why we don't have no type of inventions anymore that's claimed, because they patent everything. No matter what we do, they eat up everything. They take our name, they abuse it and change our names. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have last names, because last names is written from the oppressors, property of your oppressors, right? Go ahead.
Okay. And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
Always no rest and destroyed, man. And this looking at this thing, man, we're crushed to even see that, right? It's crushed to even know that the Argentinas is our people. You know what I'm saying? According to how America has built it, we would never think Argentina is Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Afro Argentinas, I shall say. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got, brother.
Okay. All right. So
you know what, Salaka, read that verse 34 too, right? Because this is how we feel right now.
So verse 34. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see.
That's what we see, man. That makes us upset, watching our people just being oppressed. And like you had that one picture where my man was getting whooped. You know, they always use our people to whoop our own people. You know what I'm saying? That also brings in the hatred of our own kind. You know what I'm saying? That's why we are built on hatred with one another, or you call them house niggas or whatever you want to call them. They want to obey and be obedient to their master because they're so gone, right? So yeah, this makes you mad when you see that, though. But that's all.
Okay. All right, so you can share your screen back. And let's continue that video.
Okay, come. All right, let me go ahead and put that out. Oh, it's Salakia, bro, man. Hold on, my bad. Let me put it right back on here. All right. Can you see it?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
The Wars of Independence, and in 1813, he was wounded at the Battle of Salta. He passed away not long after that. Late in the 19th century and early in the 20th century, the government of Argentina aggressively supported European immigration, which led to a rise in the percentage of the white population. The goal of creating a whiter country was eventually accomplished as more Europeans made Argentina their home. Marriages between people of European descent and people of Afro-Argentine descent led to the creation of a mixed-race population.
Which is why we so like. That's why we so like. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures literally say that Ephraim is going to be a speckled bird. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's why. Because we started to accept these dang on devils. You know what I'm saying? They oppressed you so long. They remember what Most High said. Let's get this real quick. Actually, I'm not gonna pull it up. Just grab it.
Joshua,
yeah, Joshua 23.
Okay. All right.
I believe I want to start at verse 13.
Okay. All right. This is the book of Joshua, chapter 23, and verse 13. Know for a certainty that the Lord your Yahweh will no more drive. Salak, let me read that right. Know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land which the Lord your God have given you.
See that? So the Most High told us, get the nations away from us. He's been told us that. But Joshua was around the time when he seen that the children of Israel wouldn't do it for nothing. So guess what? Now they thorns and sides. Now they are able to do exactly what they are doing. To even when they get out of captivity from the Assyrians, they come over to this land. Guess what? You also have us being shipped to this land during the time of slavery, and then being put in captivity. And now, after they finally quote unquote abolish it, right now they infiltrate and they bring in more of their people, right? And now it kind of forces us to be with them. When the Most High never said it. A lot of this is, all of it is our fault. Now I ain't gonna even say a lot of it. All of this is our own fault anyway. But it just still goes to show you where our people are at. You know what I'm saying? Where we have people at, the type of things that they go through, right? Our parents used to tell us all the time, you ain't the only one going through something. There's people all over the world that deal with these problems as well. And sometimes theirs is a lot worse. All right, but go ahead.
Led to the creation of a mixed race population. This further contributed to the dilution of the black skin tone. This inflow of European immigrants raised the competitiveness in the labour market, which put formerly enslaved people and their descendants in a difficult economic position owing to the increased level of competition and racial prejudice and discrimination. The Afro-Argentine community was dealt yet another blow when it was hit with several health issues. Afro-Argentines suffered a disproportionately high death toll during the cholera and yellow fever outbreaks in 1864 and 1871, respectively.
See that?
They were more...
So, I don't think we can share our screen at the same time.
No, we can't. I can exit out of mine and pull yours up.
Yeah, don't exit out. I got it. I'm gonna just remove it and just leave it there. Right. So watch this, y'all. All right. So this is the yellow fever epidemic that happened in Buenos Aires, right? Says the yellow fever in Buenos Aires was a series, right? A series. Didn't just happen one time, right? Series of epidemics that took place 1852, 58, 70, and 71. The latter being a disaster that killed about 8% of Portinos and a city where the daily death rate was less than 20. There were days that killed more than 500 people. The yellow fever would have come from Asuncion, Paraguay, brought by Argentine soldiers returning from the war just fought in that country, having previously spread in the city of Corrientes. As its worst, Buenos Aires population was reduced to a third because of the exodus of those escaping the scourge. Right. Read this next one. It says some of the main causes of the spread of this disease were the insufficient supply of drinking water, pollution of groundwater by human waste. Right? Why wouldn't they just clean it up? They doing it on purpose. It's no different than them literally giving us COVID, right? They put COVID in the sky, spread in the skies, right? It says the warm and humid climate in the summer, the overcrowding suffered by the black people, and since 1871, the overcrowding of the European immigrants who entered the country incessantly and without sanitary measures. Also, the Salderos manufacturing establishments for producing salted and dried meat polluted the Matanza River south of the city limits and infected ditches full of debris which ran through the city, encouraged the spread of mosquito, whatever this is, right, which was responsible of transmitting yellow fever. Right. So I mean, in short, they put that in the land, right? Because it could have easily been cleaned up, right? They have cleanup crews, man. So let me remove that. I'm gonna put yours back up, and then you can go ahead.
More likely to get these illnesses because many lived in impoverished settings, which restricted their access to critical services such as clean water and sanitation. Afro-Argentines were subjected to ongoing discrimination and social isolation, which put their health and well-being at risk during times of public emergency. Without access to modern medical care, many people turned to alternative treatments, such as home cures and traditional medicines. Regrettably, these treatments were often ineffective against serious conditions, leading to unacceptable deaths.
See that? Remember
Within
what
the
Chris said, don't wait till it's too late, because the herbs ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, this is a different situation. It's just them literally trying to control the population. They were trying to wipe us out. Even after we helped win the war, they still wanted to try to wipe the rest of us out. All right, but go ahead.
Argentine population, the number of black women outnumbers the number of black males as a result of the combination of war deaths and illness outbreaks, which led to the skewed gender balance. This demographic imbalance led to an increase in marriages between people of different races. The small number of black males still alive presented black women with a difficult choice. They could marry an Argentinian guy or compete for the few remaining black men from Africa. Many people went with the first option.
And that causes division between black men and black women. That causes hatred between black men and black women. You're literally trying to control who you mate with, right? Again, I mentioned Psalms 83. They tried to wipe us out, man. But the Most High is so amazing. They can't do it no matter what they try. They can go to drastic measures like these, but they can't wipe out the children of Israel. All right, well, go ahead. We're almost done with this video.
Not just because it was the sole viable option, but also because doing so helped them negotiate societal biases and improve their social position. By marrying into the popular society at the time, these women wanted to better their lives and the lives of their children and gain more rights.
What's wrong with these burger buns? They taste perfectly delicious, but due to a production mishap, their bottoms are slightly curved.
Chapter 5. Modern-day Afro-Argentines and their legacy. The offspring of these unions were sometimes referred to as non-whites, which is a phrase that reflects the unwillingness of the Argentine authorities to accept the country's multiracial population. If one were to analyse Argentina's population in the present day, it would be clear that the non-whites group has surpassed both the solely black and white populations. The Afro-Argentine community underwent a process of whitening due to the prevalence of interracial marriages. Because of this mixing, not only did their physical qualities become less distinct, but so did their cultural awareness. The harsh truth is that around 90% of today's population of Argentina considers themselves to be white. There is a communal amnesia
Key word
concerning the
in that
nation's
is consider, right? Asking family. The key word is considered. Don't mean that they are. It just means that you had years on top of years, right? This is like 1800s. So we have a couple hundred years in between then and now. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally going to be people that literally look like they're white. That's why they say consider, right? It's going to be people that look like that. But guess what? They're still going to be your people. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be people that may be the darkest person you ever seen. They just eat them. You know what I'm saying? So this is when people try to tell us this is about color. This is not about color, right? This is about nationality. This is about your history. This is about what you go through, what your people been through. That's what this is about, right? What you've been through, the curses points to who you are. All right, so go ahead.
Racial background, as shown by the fact that many people are ignorant of their Afro-Argentine lineage.
Yeah, they're ignorant
because
of
of this.
He said it himself. Hey, many people are ignorant of their Afro-Argentine, right, history, background. They're ignorant of it. They don't know because they look at themselves in the mirror and they look like the doggone devil, but they're not. All right, go ahead.
Ignorance and the other issues described above, the Afro-Argentine group has been pushed outside society and is on the verge of extinction. At the present day, they account for around 1% or less of the overall population. Regrettably, their tremendous historical and cultural contributions to Argentina remain unappreciated and unacknowledged by the country's government and public. It is troubling that there is so pervasive ignorance on the history of black people in Argentina. Their narratives and experiences went lost in the annals of history as the Afro-Argentine population shrank over the years. On the other hand, Afro-Argentines have been working hard to recover their histories and tell their stories ever since the growth of black communities in the 20th century. The revitalization of interest in Argentina's African heritage has led to the formation of several black groups, such as Grupo Cultural Afro, SOS Racismo, and most notably, the Africa Viva group, which was created by
All right, that's pretty much the end of it. I know I got 3 minutes left, but he ain't talking about much, right? All right, so that's kind of it, right, on Naphtali. There's some more information, definitely within that book of the Afro-Argentine in Buenos Aires, right? There's more in that book that I'm not gonna bring out. Got about 10-15 minutes, so within that time frame, I want to go back to the scriptures. Oops, Salakia. I want to go back to the scriptures real quick and just give y'all a little bit on Zebulon. Zebulon will be the next one that we go into. So we're gonna go back to first one. I want to go back to is Matthew, right? Because it's very important that we realize Yahushua started his ministry in these two lanes. All right, read verse 13.
All right, just the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and verse 13. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt at Capernaum, which is upon the seacoast in the borders of Zebulon and Naphtali, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulon and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles.
All right, go to straight to 17.
From the time Yahushua began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
All right, so this is literally the first land Yahushua started to preach at, right? So now let's go back to Genesis 49. Genesis 49, let's get verse 13.
All right. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 49, and verse 13. Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon.
His border shall be unto Zidon, right? I want y'all to remember that. Now we're going to go to Deuteronomy, right? I don't want verse 23, but I'm using that to get there, right? Borders of Zidon. Remember that key thing, right? And go ahead and read this.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, and verse 18. And of Zebulon he said, rejoice, Zebulon, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents.
Mm-hmm. Read the next one.
They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of treasures hid in the sand.
Right. So now, let's see, right? Because as a matter of fact, before we even do that, let me go back up to verse 1. And let's see, because this is what Moses was doing, right? Go ahead, read that.
Verse 1. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of Yahweh, blessed the children of Israel before his death.
All right, read verse 4.
Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And he was...
That was it.
Okay.
All right, so Moses was giving out the blessing to the congregation, the children of Israel, giving out inheritance, right? And even furthering even the prophecy that they received from Jacob, right? So I'm going to pull up another map and pull back up that map, right? Pull back up Israel. Remember what it says, y'all. It says that their borders shall be the border of Sidon, right? So let's see. I'm going to have to maybe pull up two different maps because I know this one may not show it. Let me go back to it and see if it's on here. It don't look like it. All right, so let me get another one because I want to show y'all something. This is good enough, y'all. We've seen enough maps today to recognize where. This is a good one to recognize where everything is. So it says. So remember, we on Zebulon. It's right in the center here. All right. Sidon is way up here. Me personally, I wouldn't consider that a border. Right? Y'all can make that judge. I can be corrected if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Brothers can call me. Be like, hey, to block you off. I'm cool with that. But to me, this wouldn't be a border. Zion is way up here. Right? Remember also, it says in Genesis 49, that's going to be Zebulon is going to be a haven of ships. Can we see any ships being a haven, right? Because when you look up that word haven, it shows that haven. As a matter of fact, let's get it. We got a little bit of time. Let's get it. This is where we're gonna pick back up at, yeah. So, haven of the sea. It just means seashore, coast, or shore, right? So now we say that I'm gonna have to go back to pull up some more maps. We used, and we're going off the 12 tribes chart, y'all. So we used Zebulon, or say that Zebulon is from Guatemala to I can keep messing up that word, Panama, right? So let's see. So Guatemala. I should have put
Hey, real talk. If they were the havens of the sea, that means that they knew they were comfortable on that sea. You know what I'm saying? They knew exactly where to go, and it was like their safety net, really. Because I know it just say sea and course and everything, sea and coast and all that, but they understood that sea.
Okay. So I'm gonna use this one, right? So we say Guatemala to Panama, right? We know that the Panama Canal is literally in here, right? This is where a lot of ships go. They get in imports and things of that nature, right? And again, this is just it. I mean, this is all open. So I'm sure this is just not the only one, the only spot where they get things shipped in, right? Because it says it's going to be a haven of ships, right? And then I want to show y'all something else. I want a different map. Let me see something. Let me see something because I want to show y'all something. Because remember what I said, right? The boy, why are you not closing? All right, you acting crazy. It said it's going to be the borders of Zidon, right? There we go, right here. North and South America map. I want better images than this. This is still good enough. This is good enough right here. Right? Because we seen that Guatemala. Ooh, I made it bigger. Right? Guatemala is here. Right? Down to Panama. We know that the Panama Canal is here where the haven of ships go. But what we have here, we have Colombia, right? Who and what tribe do we say the Colombians are? Right? Let me pull it back up for y'all. Let me pull out the 12 tribes chart for y'all so we can see. That window keep acting crazy. 12 tribes chart. Let's see. Let's see who they are. All right, right here. The tribe of Asher. Right? Literally, who is right next to Asher when we look at the 12 tribes map? See this? This is Zebulon, this is Asher. Zidon is way up here. Right. The Most High left all of these signs here to give us the connection to show where our people is going to be at in these last days. Right. And all of these things is right here. Right. It just takes a little bit of time and research and studying, but you literally can see. Right. Like I said earlier, Zidon way up here. Right. But it says it's going to be the borders of Zidon. Right. The future prophecy, Genesis 49. Am I here? Let me see. Yeah, this is it. Genesis 49 and 13. Read that.
Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his borders shall be unto Zidon.
Unto Zidon. So as we can see on the 12 tribes map, we can see that that's not the border of Zidon. But when we go to the world map, y'all, where you at? Right there. We go to the world map, we can see, because again, we say Guatemala down to Panama. We can see that this is the border of Zidon. This is the border of Asher, where we say that the Colombians are. Right? So, I'm going to stop right there. Like I said, I'm going to pick it back up. With the tribe of Zebulon, y'all. I'm going to pick it back up with that. So just, hey, Most High willing, again, brothers, hey, if I'm off, I'm going off. Hey, I ain't above correction at all. Brothers can call me. Hey, the Baki don't make no sense. It don't make sense at all. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that no more. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But this is literally the research and things that I looked up, things that I found, right? So definitely out here to share it with my brothers and sisters. And Most High willing, this class was edifying. We'll definitely be back on in the morning. My God will definitely be bringing out some heat. So y'all brothers and sisters, tune in. The waterfall of support for the donations that's been coming through. And the continued support, right, from the community, man. So all praise to the Most High. You can have the last word, King.
Very edifying, King. I couldn't see anything that could doubt your explanation, what you brought out. So the research was well put together. And man, hey, I wanted you to rock this out, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to be a student. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to be a student and just listen and learn. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of precepts in my mind, bro, but I wanted you to rock that thing, bro, because, man, I wanted to be a student, bro. So good job. Well edifying. Keep it up, brother, man. Keep that spirit upon you and everybody from L.O.I. and all camps everywhere. Thanks for listening and tuning in. We truly do appreciate you. Tomorrow morning, Priest has allowed me to do a class tomorrow for birthday. Hope you become edifying. That's all I can say. And all praise to the Most High. Shalom, brothers and sisters.
All right. Shalom, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Shabbat. Hey, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.
Shalom.
That an Israelite made it. The suckers gon' talk, the cowards gon' hate it. No matter what they say, I'ma go get it done. There's really no choice if you from where I'm from. Some people gon' be glad, others gon' be mad. You juicing off the hate and relapse, so you need rehab. I could show you things, all you see is the rings. Don't get blinded by ice, my brother. Pick a lane. Learn a skill that'll get you very well paid. Investing in trades like a monopoly game. All you need is your brain and be willing to change. You'll have obstacles in life, but don't look at it strange. Adapt to your environments. Get well-rounded. In the laws of the Most High, stay well-grounded. Things happen and life goes on. Let the haters hate while you stay strong.
Don't say I can't have it, 'cause that just makes me want it more. Number one status.
Number one.
I gotta do good every time before. Don't be mad at me when I get it.
Don't be mad, bro.
You gon' be mad at me when I get it done.
I'ma get it done.
Don't be mad.
Do what you need to do, there's the king in you. But if talent don't work, it won't be useful. I remember the times of free school lunch. Whatever we didn't eat, moms took it for our brunch. Pops was working hard, now I know how it feels to have extra. He used to bring us meals on wheels. If you know, you know. Free things was a major help. That's why anytime I get, I always try to help. Those who are in need, who are sincere. It makes me feel good when they smiling from ear to ear. Let them be mad, I'm bearing my cross. All my failures was a lesson, never counted a loss. Edomites make way, cause they know I'm a boss. Sitting in the Lambo, while they sit in the porch. And they wondering how, so they try to converse. The ones that smile in your face are usually the
Don't
worst.
say I can't have it,